Hello everyone, welcome to Lighthouse Stamping with Lorraine. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Vancouver, Washington. Thank you for joining me today. Before we get started, the housekeeping notes. All the product I'm using and all the dimensions will be listed below. There's a link to my online store if you wish to purchase these products or any others. There's my email if you have any questions. There is a link to our Facebook group. We'd love to have you join that. I also post messages on that site. And finally, remember to like, share, and subscribe and help me grow in YouTube world. Today, we're going to be using Nature's Prints, which is in the annual catalog. It is a beautiful set. I've used it many other times. It does have dies. We're going to be using one of the dies, and we're going to be using this verse and this flower and this die out of this set. I'll open this up so you can see the dies. There's a lot of beautiful dies. And if you go back and look at some of my older videos, yeah, I have used this big, huge one as well. So, the other item we're going to be using is the Layered Floral 3D Embossing Folder, which is in the mini catalog. And you may have overlooked this because it's in a rather odd place. It's on page 65, and it's right here in this little corner here. And that's the embossing folder we're going to use. I think it's one of the most beautiful embossing folders we've had in years. I like most of them, but this one is quite beautiful. And I need to turn this light a little bit. I'm getting a lot of glare. There, we'll go back over here a little bit. But you can see the detail in there. It's absolutely gorgeous. And I'm going to show you the card we're making. It's a very simple, easy card. The envelope is stamped. And this is the card. And it looks just like this. There's no verse inside. I left this open to write a nice birthday wish. Now, it's hard to tell on here, but this is the debossed side of the embossing folder. So normally when you emboss, you see this it all raised up, and that's this part here that causes that. This here is the underneath when you flip it over. It's the debossed side. And when we do this, I will show you both sides. But what we're going to do is, normally we'd ink up on this side. And on my past videos, I've showed inking up on the side, the Stampin' Up! Side, where everything's pretty much, flat, except for a few raised pieces. This is the really very bumpy side. And that is what we're going to be doing. So, and we're going to be using, the only colors we're using this is Berry Burst, black to highlight, and white. So, I've got this here. I'm going to grab a brayer. You can use, you can actually do this without a brayer by just lightly rubbing across this way. For me, I find it easier with a brayer, but you can do it this way, just do it very lightly. But with a brayer, and if you use our new brayer, make sure to flip it around so the legs are not going this way, and just roll one direction and ink up your brayer. And then what you want to do is just go across here, back and forth. And I found I was inking this up a few times to make sure I get all of the flower pieces covered. Just like you would if you were using the pad itself. Just give it a little press here, there. You can see where you're missing too, so if you need to go back a little spot, you can. You're not going to hit everything, but I do want to do a little bit more. See, I've missed a few. But you want to get as much there. So it looks sort of naked at the moment still. And I'm going to set this back out of my way. Close this. I have a piece of 6x6 paper to put in here. Like I said, it's pretty easy. Close this up. I'm going to grab my large cut and emboss machine. And I did not grab my two plates I need. You need plate 1 and plate 3. Or plate 1 and plate 4. When you put it in, this is how you normally put it in. This is the side. And the folded pieces here so you don't break your embossing plates. Embossing folders, I should say. So they don't get caught. And just run it through. Now you could do this with blending brushes, and I probably will show you a demonstration on how to do blending brushes in this later. But I needed to do a quick, easy card today, and this was it. Hang on here. My hands aren't working right yet. I'll get rid of this. And we're going to open this up. You see what we get here. Now that is still not as dark as I'd like. But if you look on this side, this is the emboss side that you normally have. And this is the debossed. But it didn't get as dark as I wanted. So let's do it again. I brought out enough stuff to do it again. Let's go totally doing with the pad. So just remember to do this lightly, because you don't want all the pieces inside. You just want to get the flowers. But I wanted it darker, so you could do it either way, but I wanted darker flowers. So I'm just lightly, I mean very lightly, tapping. I'll close this up again. And like I said, I was prepared. I wasn't sure which way I wanted to go. I'll still use that on something else. Actually, the white side's just perfect. Nothing wrong with it. Can make a white card on that one. Grab my plates again. You don't have to flip it over. You can run the pink side first through, but I wanted it darker than the first one, so like I said, play around with this. This is, you know, it's time to get inky and have fun. Sprayer out of my way so I don't accidentally hit it. Oh, that's much darker. But when you do the pad, you do get more of this, which I'm okay with. And I did get quite on this side, but that's all right. I still like it. Now, this is the one I did with the other, and I should have put more ink on. I just didn't put enough ink on. But as like I said, that side, there is nothing wrong with that side. I can still use it. Just trim off this little bit here, and I'm fine. You get done with this, just take it under water, dry it, and you're ready to go. Or you could use a chamois or something, but I'm not doing that. Well, while we got the ink out here, I am going to go ahead and do a little stamping. This is the inside of our card, and this is 4 by 5 1/4, and then I have my envelope that I need to stamp, and I have a scrap piece of white. And what we need to stamp is our envelope. I just wanted something for the envelope, but I didn't want to have to do a lot of work. Make sure this is the right way. I just wanted to put a little flower in the corner. And love my mat. And the inside, we're actually not putting anything on that. I don't know why I brought that out. We are putting something inside it, but not that. And then best wishes and happy thoughts for the front of my card. So we have a little bit of more die cutting to do. So we're going to do that first. You know me, I like to get all my pieces in order. I'm also waiting for this to finish drying because it does take a second. And I want to make sure it's dry before I start cutting it. That is the wrong piece of paper. This is the right piece. This is my scrap. I have a scrap of black and this. And we are going to die cut this out here and one out of black. And plate 1 and plate 2. And I'm going to line this up in here. And I think I'm going to grab me a little Post-it to make sure it doesn't move on me. cut that. More scrap-worthy stuff out of that yet. There's our first. And then we need to die cut. Oh good, that's not too big to go in there. We need to die cut one out of black. And that should be all the die cutting. So why don't we go ahead and put this together, and then we will get the cutter out. And what I'm doing is I'm just going long ways out here, and I'm cutting right through the center like that. I want a little border on this, and I'm going to use Seal and my very stained mat. I'm just going to put Seal right on the edge of this here. And it doesn't matter which end you take. And then I'm just going to line it up, try to get it as even as possible, looking at here and off to the side. You can see where I'm lining it up, just like that. Then I'll put this one down. Flip this around. Line things up about the same way I did again. About like that. And we have a beautiful little label. All right, next I need my cutter. So we can't leave this as a 6x6 to make a beautiful card. So what we need for our front of our card, we need a piece that is 3 3/4 by 5, and I need another piece that is 1 inch by 5 1/4. Sorry about that. Got a little dry throat. So I'm going to look at this and see my best piece. And I think my best piece is right here. I like that. Yeah, I like this one sticking up. So I need a piece that is 3 3/4 by 5 inches. I'm going to take a little off this side here. That's one nice thing when you have a big piece like this. You can cut off little pieces you don't like. I liked more of this bigger flower here. This one here, that's why I cut a little more off that. And I think I'll lay it like that on the card. Like that. And then I do need a piece that is 1 inch. Like I've told other people, when I'm doing small areas that are less than 4 inches, I tend to cut this into the board, which is I need 1 inch, not 1 1/4, 1 inch. I tried 1 1/4, it was just a little too much. And we're going to take a tad off this end here. I do like that one better. Like I said, I just sort of work this until I get, now I have to go back up to the top for 5 inches. Till I get the piece out I want. Now, there's still another hunk here, a couple that I may use in something else, so I'll set those aside. Okay, so now it is time to build our card, as soon as I get all the pieces unburied over here. There's a piece of berry burst. It's 8 1/2 by 5 1/2, scored at 4 1/4. And our inside piece is 4 by 5 1/4, and I'm going to go ahead and glue that in. Like I said, this is actually a very easy card to reproduce. You need to do a lot of cards. Hang on here. We have a glue boogie. Come on, glue. I may have to get another roll. Now put that right in the center here. Okay, and then this piece is going to lay right here. Now, if you didn't want it, I cut it the wrong length. That's not good. Hang on. We're going to make this piece. I cut it the wrong length. It should have been 5 1/4, and I cut it at 5. That's okay. I have enough here. It may not be quite an inch. I do it up here. All right. You're going to make yours an inch, but mine's not going to be an inch because I made the mistake. And I could have just put it at the bottom, but I don't want to. I'm just going to take a tad off there. It's supposed to be 5 1/4. So you could use a 3/4, you could use an inch. I mean, it's up to you, it's your card. But this will work just fine too. It's supposed to go up to the top of the white. These, it would go this way, but you could have put it this way as well, but I wanted it this way. Either it's being very difficult or it's almost out. So just one moment. Ta-da! New glue. We'll leave it upside down for a day or two and see if it comes back to life. I think I left it sitting on its side. This glue likes to be left sitting upright. Just like that. Yeah, you want to stir your glue this way. And this is how it's sitting over here. You can't see it, but it is. But I left it laying on the desk, which was my mistake. Okay, on the front of the card, we're going to put this here. This is 4 by 5 1/4. And then this is the piece we cut here. That was 3 3/4 by 5. And we're going to layer those all up. Yeah, like I said, I don't edit my videos. If I make a mistake, you get to see it. If I try something I don't like, I try something else. Now, since this is embossed, you want to make sure you put adequate glue and give it a little rub. And then we'll mount that on this way. And you could pop this up on Dimensionals if you wanted. I'm going to pop up my sentiment on my Dimensionals. And this does have 1/4 inch border. Because I wanted to, that black is just with that berry brush, just makes it pop. I love it. Okay. Then we have our thing. And now let's see where I want to put this one. I want to put it this way straight. The other one I put off here because I actually had a really dark spot right here on this one. And that's why I put it at an angle. But I'm not sure I want to go at an angle this time. I think I want to go straight across this time. You can put this anywhere you want. So let's say you had a spot where it, like this right here is a little teeny spot that got into there. But if you had a big spot, and that's what I had under here, was a big spot that got ink on it, and I didn't, so I just covered it up. So, but you can move it anywhere you want. That's about beauty about card making. Make it your own, put it where you want it. Just like that. Sorry, I gotta switch to this other. If you guys have watched me a while, you know I use my left hand as much as my right. And actually, I'm going to go up towards the top a little bit on this. Do you see this line here? I'm not going to go all the way to the top, but I'm going to cover most of that line like that. So find, if you have an imperfection you really don't like, just cover it up. Okay, now I already made a bow for this, and this is out of the glittered organdy ribbon right here. This was these two were the last two pieces I got out of my organdy ribbon. I need to order some. I love this ribbon. It's so pretty and shiny. And it's got little flecks. If you look at it really close, it's got little pink flecks that look like berry burst in it. I'll grab a glue dot. And I think I'll go ahead and put 2 on this one. Some of the ribbon 1's enough, but some of them 2 is better. We do not need the dimensional back in there, though, do we? And I stuck that one there, but you know what? I'm gonna set this one off to the side. I'm not doing this one identical to the first one. That's the joy of card making. You start working and then you do something else. That looks pretty good. And bling. We need some bling. And I think, there they are. We are going to do the iridescent pearl back. Basic jewels. I think they're very pretty. And I think somebody was playing with this. And I'm going to put one down here. These are the biggest ones. And I'll put a big one here. And then I'm going to get a medium one or small one. Right like that. Put 3 little jewels on there. And that is my card for today. I hope you like that. Give it a try. I am playing with other things with this folder. I've been playing around with actually coloring with blending brushes on the folder. I'm not ready to show you guys yet, but hopefully in a week or so I will be ready to show you, because it's been quite fun. So don't always think about the front of your embossing folder. Sometimes the back of it is just as exciting. So everybody have a wonderful day, and I will see you later. Goodbye.